Hey guys, it's Tiny Tom Logan back with another video for you. Today, finally, I'm making a video about the Rampage 4 Extreme Black Edition. Now, Rampage 4 Extreme Black Edition, but this is actually the second time Asus have ever done a Rampage Black. First time was with the Rampage 3, because we obviously did have the original Rampage 3 Extreme. 1366 socket was with us for quite a while, so they brought us out a black edition. I actually did kind of a review build with that, and we built the Shadow H2O rig. It's the first time I ever mixed really kind of dark colours with a really deep blood red coolant. Looked epic. Anyway, now we're back with the Rampage 4 Extreme Black Edition. Many people did wonder whether we were going to see a Rampage 5 Extreme this time round, but because the 2011 socket is still with us, we're still on the X79 chipset, but when Ivy Bridge E came out, obviously that did allow us, we actually now do have full access to the PCI Express 3 lanes. The Rampage, original red Rampage, and this one were both already ready for it. Just the CPUs didn't have the capability. They didn't have that side of things turned on. But now we do. But essentially what Asus have done is they've taken their polishing wheel out to the old board, and they've brought us this. Now many people were expecting the exact same board, but with just, you know, a different heatsink on it, or just with black PCI slots. Well, it's a lot more involved than that. And I'm just going to move the box out the way. And what I'm going to do is oh, you can see the line down my card, look. Right. So, move it up a bit further, there we go. Right. In fact, what I should have done was just move the camera down a little bit. Then you get to see the lines even more, see? That's why I didn't do it. Right. There we go. In case you're wondering what that pause was, there's currently a fly going absolutely batshit crazy round the ring lights that I use for the studio. Now, just so that you know, there was an early original version of this that did have the same active heatsink and everything on it. It literally, quite literally, was the original Rampage, but black. Well, that's not the version that's getting released to us all today, and it's so different. It's not even the same motherboard, and there's so many things that have changed. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to point out a few of them in this, because to be fair, it's just an overview. We will look at some of the accessories and stuff that come with it in a minute, because they have brought out, there's a lot that comes in there, and one of them is just awesome. But essentially, the main thing that they've done is we've now got this massive heatsink, and it is a ginormous heatsink up on this side. We'd like the shroud around it, which goes over the top of all the I/O panels and everything like that. Now we can see that we've got two USB 2s there, two USB 2s there, two USB 3s, two USB 3s, two USB 3s. So 6 USB 3 in total. Two USBs and SATAs. These are USB 2s though. We've got the link button and the BIOS refresh button, but you can also flash on this. We have got a PS2, wireless and Bluetooth on board. Although let's be fair, if you've got this board, you're not going to be running wireless, are you? And if you are, slap your wrist, get yourself some home plugs and use the bloody the Ethernet. And then we have the onboard audio. But the onboard audio is one of the things that they've changed quite a bit of, because I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to get it to show you, but there is the old separate PCB thingy around here, and there are LEDs all round the back as well that are going to make all this light up red, just like on the Maximus Formula. But they have spent, I'm going to drop it down, a lot of time getting the audio on this perfect. Now, yes, I'm zooming you in, and yes, I'm getting myself all in position to be able to move the board, because, haha, there we go, this is almost looking professional. Because they've done an awful lot. Now, the red line all the way around is going to light up red, like I've already told you. But These capacitors up here are ELNA premium audio capacitors. The Supreme FX chip has got an EMI protective cover. There's a little thing here, and that's a differential design with premium OP amps, or O amps is what I would always call them. So that's that little thing there. The red things are WIMA film capacitors. This chip here is a Cirrus Logic CS4398 DAC, and then this little chip baby here, that one just in there, is a TPA 6120A2 600 ohm hi-fi headphone amp. So they've gone to town really on the audio, and I have to admit the original audio on the red Rampage really wasn't all that in a bag of chips, really, is what I would normally say. And so I'm going to be quite interested in testing this. I mean, I've got a dedicated graphics card, so as far as me using that side of things is concerned, it will always come down to it looking pretty. But obviously there are people out there that might, want to push the boat out a little bit more with the motherboard, and then maybe delay getting a sound card till later on. This might be that good, you might not ever need to get a sound card. I don't know yet, but we will see. So we're zooming back out again. We will come down and we will see a really wonky motherboard, because I have to step forward to be able to get it in shot. There we go. Right, yeah, right. That's it. Right. So another thing to point out is obviously all the slots now are just grey. We've not got the red and black or the red and grey ones. And I like that. It's got a nice stealthy look to it. It does look very kind of minimal and discreet. It will fit many more rigs because they've sacked off that redness. Now, I think that's quite a good move, because I think now there are too many fucking black and red motherboards. So take this and make it fit with more rigs. Awesome, because you can put any highlights of colour that you want in this. This does light up red. If you don't want it to, just unplug it. Simple, nice and simple, and then you've got yourself a stealth rig. We have now got a passive Southbridge heatsink. The old one was an active one, and I always turned it off in the BIOS. And it never really got hot. I never had stability issues, no problems like that whatsoever. But this one, there's a lot more metal to it, so you're not going to have any worries anyway. Something else that we've lost is there isn't a USB 3 down this end of the board. We've just got the USB 3 up here now. It's still quad channel RAM, as you'd expect. They've not kind of gone insane and fucking removed anything, that you needed. And to be fair, just as a kind of first look, that's really about it. I mean, I really do like this detail. It's a shame it's not around the other side, but look at that. That is just such a small touch, and it looks the absolute gonads. Look at it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Such a small thing, but it looks, I can never get those things straight. It looks epic. Now, other things that come in the box. First thing, really, I'm trying to look because the camera's wonky, so this is actually now like that against the table. Now I'll show you. The motherboard's not straight on the table. The camera's just so wonky at the moment, it's almost as bent as me. Right, so things that come in the box. It does come with a Assassin's Creed 4 black flag serial. Now, I've obviously not scraped that off yet because I don't want you to know my serial, because I'm going to be using this. It'll probably end up going on the bench rig, because I obviously don't play for fun anymore, because I'd go fucking nuts. Normal kind of I/O thing that goes around the back, and you will notice that the I/O's got no vents or anything. So this all big plate and everything is obviously some kind of shielding, or just for looks. And I think it's just for looks. Other things that they've bundled with it, you do get black Republic of Gamers Crossfire cables, but obviously with the 290X you're not going to need these. But there's plenty of other cards out there that don't, so it's nice that we've got these. And there's 2 card ones, and there's also much bigger ones. So yeah, free slot. Oh, that's an SLI cable, dickwad. So that's Crossfire. There we go. One's Crossfire, one's SLI. Why can't they make the Crossfire, the SLI ones, the same length? Why have you got to have a long one and a short one? I don't get that. That's retarded. Right, so one of them needs to be shorter. The other thing that they've bundled with it is the overclock panel. Now, if you saw my Maximus 6 Extreme review, I slated this thing to within an inch of its life. My thoughts have not changed on this. The cable that comes with it to connect it to the motherboard, if you're going to run it internal, is too short. The cable that comes with this, because there's only one, to run it external, is too short. I don't like it. And by too short, I mean, when I tested this in a case, you had to run it from the points. There was no way to run it behind the motherboard tray, up round the back of the tray, to a nice sensible point, because you can, if you want to run it internal, it comes with an optical bay adapter. And this goes like this. And it goes and slides inside like that. Okay, now the cable that they give you for it I don't think is long enough. Asus, please listen to me. Either make some extension cables or a longer cable, just so that some of us that actually don't like cables, you know, big and wild in our rigs, so that we can have it tidier. Just needs to be about 30 centimeters longer, and that's just so that we could hide it round the back of the motherboard tray, go up and hide it up, you know, so it was tidy in the optical bays, rather than just having a cable right in the bare of your case, very visible. I can't be dealing with that, especially with you know, a high class premium board like this, and the Maximus 6 Extreme. It's not a cheap board, is it? It's blatantly been done by someone in China that just, they don't care about how the internals look, and it screams that. So can we please have a longer cable? Not necessarily with the motherboard. Let those of us that are anal enough that we want a nice looking rig, let us buy one somewhere. Even if we have to buy it from you in China or something, just please, because otherwise, that for me, if it was a case of a messy rig or using this, I will have a tidy rig and I will bin this. To the point, this is my favourite thing in the box other than the motherboard. And by that I mean, I'd happily chuck this in the bin and keep this, because this is probably the best case badge I've ever seen in my life. It's actually quite classy, and yeah, you're right, this is, you know, like those normal square stickers that you get, the Intel badges, and I call them noob badges, because anyone that puts these generally, or at least those square things, on their cases is a noob. And to the point, I keep most of mine. They're normally all down here. I've got some of them that I've made up myself, and every time I get them, they just end up in here. I've got MSI ones, I've got, someone made me some for Orca, I never used them. What one's this one? Oh, that's another Orca one. Let me see if they're in the other box. Ugh. Like that, like a square badge. You can never really make them look tidy, and they do look like noob badges, as I call them, because people put them all along the front of their rigs, and it just makes them look messy and horrible. But this is the first time anyone's ever made one where I've looked at it, and even I've bloody liked it. And to the point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop the camera quickly and show you what this could look like on Orca. And that's another thing that I'm quite surprised about, is I tried this out earlier on, and I put it on there, and I was like, my God, I could actually use that. So I'm just going to do that quickly and I'll show you. Okay, so there we go. There we are. Now this is magnetic only. I will say that I thought this protective coating would have been for a sticker, but sadly it's not. So if you've not got a steel case, you're going to have to put some of your own double-sided tape or something on there to try and get it to work. But this is utterly brilliant. This is the first time I've ever wanted to use a case badge at all. And bearing in mind, we're talking about on Orca, and I think that actually works. I'd put it on the other side as well. It does actually really look the part. And yeah, I am still using Orca. Especially at this time of year anyway. Look at the dates. Both in October. I say good morning to her every morning I turn the rig on. Anyway, case badge, absolutely, I really do like this. And just to kind of show you my feelings for Rampage 4s, I do have my own Rampage 4. I sit beside one daily. Anyway, so this case badge, totally awesome. This actually makes up for that overclock panel. This is the first time I've ever seen something like this and that I've actually liked out of every one that I've ever seen. So Asus, get a massive thumbs up for this. I love it. Right then peeps, so that is our first look for the Rampage 4 Extreme. I am going to be making you another video. I'm going to be doing a comparison to show you the differences between this and the original Rampage 4 Extreme. Once I've done that, I will break onto some testing, but please don't start asking me when, because there's so much here at the moment because of other review NDAs that are coming up shortly, and I've still got a backlog that I'm still trying to catch up on from when I was ill. I've got power supplies that I need to try and get sorted, but I'm trying to get my scope talking to my laptop properly. I've got some, there's all sorts of stuff coming, I've still got to review the Maximus formula as well. But I'm going to love you and leave you with this because my camera battery is literally dying. I've done so much today. Just in case you're wondering, I do have 3 competitions running at the moment. One's to win the custom Borg cube, which is a Corsair case, and it's all done in like a Borg theme. The other competition we've got is to win an Asus Maximus Asus Matrix Platinum graphics card. You could be in with a chance of winning this. And also, just gone live today, we've got 3 Kingston solid state drive and memory kit bundles as well. So go to the Overclock 3D website. You can enter all 3 of those competitions with just a couple of clicks of your mouse. So you don't have to search for anything, you don't have to answer any questions, well, other than your email address. That's it. All very simple, just me trying to give something back to you around this time of year, because obviously I want to try and put a positive spin on, you know, just that time of year for me. Anyway, camera battery light is now going absolutely schizophrenic, so I need to stop. I'm going to love you and leave you. This is our first look at the Rampage 4 Extreme Black Edition, but you will be seeing plenty more. This is Tiny Tom Logan with another video for you. Out.